For people that just
shake it like you mean it, baby. Come on and dance with it. Come on, shake it like you mean it, baby. Come on and dance with it.
believe that you made it here alive.
Well, I was trying to get a cute thing to make you laugh while we were waiting, and I just knocked my whole.
And you've actually swayed it a couple more times since you.
Yeah, see, like scoot it back some. So I have a new backdrop coming. I would have had it by now, but one piece of it was broken. I think FedEx or I think it was FedEx. It came FedEx. I think they stepped on the box and broke this one piece. I literally have it sitting right here.
Wait,
Look at that.
wait, so this is a new contraption to sit behind you?
Yes, to put a quilt on. This has
Oh.
always been. This is like a. I
Room
don't
divider?
show it. Yeah, it's like a 6-panel room divider, and it broke in half a long time ago. So I usually have it one or the other half. I had a little tantrum the other day because it kept falling down. So the other half has been put to rest. This one is just hanging on by a thread. But yeah, this new one is going to be really cool. It's on wheels and everything, and it's very cool. And I can make it like narrow to fit in the space. But alas, I go to put it together the other day, and as you see,
You're gonna have to share, like, can you pull up like what this contraption is?
it's just like so those stanchion things like that you would hang a quilt on, like the two big
Yeah,
uprights with the pole.
yeah. But you
It's
said this one's
pretty
on
much
wheels.
Yes, it's pretty much that, but instead of those like tripody, feet, it has this and it has wheels on it. So, and it would be steady, like it's two of them and it would just be able to roll back and forth. So,
That sounds neat. That sounds like I might want one of those things.
yeah, I should have the new piece tomorrow. They were very good customer service. I sent them a picture. I was like, look what FedEx did. And they were just like, oh, okay, we'll send you a piece out. So it's coming tomorrow, FedEx.
Was it expensive, reasonable?
See, that's the thing. It was so cheap. I was like, there is no way this is going to be anything but a pile of
Oh, okay.
crap. But it
Uh-huh.
actually is. I think the regular price was like $50, but I think I paid $30.
Mhm.
And because it was so cheap, I added like the extra $8 to fast ship it, which was
To fast break it.
to fast break it, but they're fast shipping me the other piece, so all good.
Mhm.
Yeah, so hopefully I'll have a sturdy, like,
So, will you hang quilts like that, like, with the sleeve, or will you need the hangers, like the pant hangers?
I could still use the clips that I hang with, I don't know if you can't see it. Where is one? Of course, I don't have any laying out. Those big clips. I thought I had one here. These.
Oh.
Yeah, I just use these. And for quilts that are like I don't want to damage them, I make sure that it's just the tip, just the tip. Just the little bitty pieces holding it so it's not like, anything that's rough.
Okay. Well, that's neat.
Yeah.
Y'all, I don't know if you heard her over the music, but she'd also not put her mic on mute. So she's over there like, "Rah!" And I'm trying to tell her while I'm on mute, like, your mic's on.
I didn't even
And
realize I made a noise. I was just like, ah!
that's the whole reason I knew that anything was going on because was doing other stuff on my computer and I just hear like,
You looked up and I'm like,
yeah, Stephanie has these like distinct oh my god sounds. Like I think and there's like levels of progression for how serious the issue is. So it was one of those like I didn't run back to the screen thinking she'd cut her finger off, but I knew that something was amiss.
yeah.
There's the full on like then there's like there's different the things you learn about your friends.
It
Um,
wouldn't be a Tuesday if I wasn't having some sort of catastrophe. But I was
well,
I was trying to show you my little friends, which I did show off on my stream yesterday. Um
is this like an Animal Friends episode
well,
with the
I
couch?
mean, they might be having their own little talk show. You never know. This is Pearl the squirrel, Claire the bear, Claire's not done. Claire still needs clothing and a nose. Pearl had a mishap.
Claire the noseless.
Yeah. Pearl had a mishap when we installed her eyeballs. So we just leaned into the fact that she's a little.
It gives her character.
She's also a huge basketball fan. She's got her basketball jersey on. Why? I don't know.
So you
But
made
I have to
these
say,
sweaters?
yeah. I have to say it was our nerd crew that gave me the idea about using golf tees as the feet for the couch.
Huh.
Yeah.
And what's this like little nerd crew called? Like, is this like a kit you bought?
No, I'm talking about our nerd crew. Like,
No, I
our
know.
nerds.
I'm talking about the little group here that you just made. Like, is that like
Oh, I bought
something?
I bought patterns at the company. It's called
Okay.
10 by 2.
Mhm.
I think I ran into I saw the woman's patterns on Instagram, and usually I don't buy stuff on Instagram because it's always like it goes to some like sketchy website that is most likely somewhere else in the world, and you don't know. But this one, I think I think she might be in Eastern Europe. I'm not sure, but PDF patterns. They're very cute, and the couch I made first. I made that a while ago, and then these are her little woodland creatures, little buddies. That I just
They're
think
gonna
so
need a
cute.
quilt.
Oh yeah. I need to make them a quilt. She has patterns for like a blanket and a pillow, and maybe it's like a little sleep sack or something. But I'm like, oh no, I'll have to make them a like nice quilt. And of course, I've got my little Angus stacks, the little burger.
Cute. I don't I was just on a retreat for a few days. I don't really have any pictures of what I was doing. I have like maybe one.
Yeah, you showed me a few pictures, and it was mostly like, look, I have a sewing machine in front of me, and I'm like,
Yeah, I did end up putting up some blocks on the design wall.
but you had a good time though. I mean,
there's
I
no
don't.
evidence of that.
Well, I don't know how much you got done, but you had a good time, didn't you?
I did a lot. I did
Okay.
a lot, and I hadn't done hardly anything in a while.
And you were
So
working on a project that you've had kind of a machine
for
project that you've
years.
had
It's
going
been working on it for years. So I did a little of that. I did a little of a couple other projects. It's been about a year since I've spent that much time on a sewing machine, so it was really nice. It was nice. It's been a long time since I've had that kind of back pain.
on.
From like being like a gremlin at your machine.
It's funny you said that, and I haven't sewn on my machine a lot lately, but I did sew something the other day. In fact, I had to put an animal together, but I had other sewing, and I usually just sew right here with my small machine because the big machine, like, it's all big rigmarole. So I just have my little small machine here, and this is like the perfect height. Like, it could be maybe a little bit higher, but it's a good height. But I don't know. I mean, and it wasn't like I was doing a lot of sewing. I was literally just sewing a couple things. I patched something, and then I just sewed the seams on that little bear. And I mean, I was probably sitting here for like 15, 20 minutes tops. And I was like, man, my back hurts. I was like, Jill, put this on me.
We just in general have really bad posture.
Oh yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I'm always just
Yeah.
like like it. We just have terrible posture when we sew.
And you have a very nice computer chair, it's kind of like a it's
Well,
an
not
office
at the
chair, isn't it?
retreat.
Oh well, no, of course not. But I'm just saying here at your desk you do, and I have.
Oh, in my office I do, but
Mhm.
I don't really have any chair in my sewing room right now. But it did entice me to be like, yeah, I gotta get a chair in my sewing room and move some stuff around so I could put my machine on and do something. Yeah, Marianne, I can't do a lot of cutting at once either too, just because for one, it's my least favorite
Yeah.
part. And I get bored. So I have to like do a little cutting and then do a little piecing and then do a little ironing and then doing a little cutting and like
Yeah. My back
that's
hurts. My back hurts cutting too, and I think it's The height of my cutting table, I think, is pretty good considering. I mean, like I've considered all these things because I'm like, after years of, sewing on a table, like, or that's like way down here, you know.
I just don't think there's really any way to avoid.
But yeah, there's something about cutting. I think it's just like the posture you have to take because you have to have some pressure, on whatever
Leverage.
your non-dominant side, and then you have this kind of odd sort of repetitive
Yeah.
motion, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep. All right. So let me get into announcement-y stuff. We're still in June.
For a couple more minutes.
Yeah. I thought it's fine. It's a good thing I was like checking. Cause like I thought our next Stitch and Glitch was this Saturday, which it's good it's not. And I did that on purpose because there's a turning at the New England Quilt Museum I want to go to.
And
So
I'm out of town,
luckily,
so.
yeah, luckily our next Stitch and Glitch is next Saturday, which will be things to talk about. Quite a lot. I better write them down. I have some things to talk about. So
All right.
yeah, so we've got part 1 of Block Island today. We'll do part 2 on the 23rd. Assuming we can get it all done in 2 parts, then we'll move on to something for the 30th, but it could end up 3. There's, there's things to look at. There's hi Alicia.
Alicia?
There's things to look at. So it could end up in 3. And then for our next book, which if you happen to see Instagram, that's the first place I put it. But
Yeah.
this is what we're reading next, y'all. We're kind of really going back, I feel like, to the basics here. True Confessions. I have not read this book.
I have looked through it. I have poured through it, but I can't say I've read all the words in it.
And point, that's exactly why we do this, is because these books in general are pretty hefty. They're not like, the size of them is often not conducive to novel reading, because those books are smaller. So we're reading them to make sure that we read them, because otherwise we just read a chapter here or there and we don't ever do the whole thing. So there is an Amazon affiliate link. If you feel some type of way about Amazon, that's totally cool. But it throws us a few pennies every time you buy. There are a number of less expensive used copies on there. It's pretty easy to get a hold of. Mine's the paperback one, which is obviously significantly less expensive than the hardcover.
Oh, I didn't know it came as a paperback. I think I have the hardcover.
Yep.
Interesting. I didn't even know. What's funny is I have been going through this patchwork quilt Sushin magazine that I picked up at the
NEQM.
The NEQM. And we read about Mr. Roderick Karakov yesterday. So that's Rod in 96. And you see
funny.
the book is right there.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And then his other book is there too.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot remember if I have Cloth and Comfort or not. I gotta look through my
I do. Again, not one I've read.
I like keep thinking to myself, surely I have it. I'm sure I have it, but then I'm like, but do I? I gotta dig through my books.
That's, you know what? That's one thing that leads me to believe it is quite likely that you do.
I probably do.
Because I feel like every time we have this conversation and it's like, well, I'm just gonna get it anyways. It's like, oh, well, I had it.
Yeah.
So go with your gut. So our next quarter starts in July, and technically we would probably give the first homework assignment on the 30th and then have our first discussion on the 7th. Because of the holiday week, I kind of feel like let's give our first assignment on the 7th and we'll do our first discussion the following week. Marianne, there is a link. Steph, can you put that in the chat? I emailed it to you.
Okay. I was gonna say yes. Where did I go? Where I get it from? Yeah, okay.
Yep. I emailed it to you. I did just put it up on the Instagram. It will go on the Facebook. It will go on the YouTube. It was just a quick
here it is.
Get her going right before dinner. Kind of a thing. It's been a day, y'all. I had a medical procedure this morning. It was not fun. Oh my goodness, Janet, it's
Hey, Janet.
62.
Oh, but foggy.
An astronaut talk was great. That sounds interesting.
Ooh.
All right. So we have what am I doing here? So we went to Black Island in May. I can't believe it was that long ago already.
I know. It feels like
Um
we were just there, but it's been
yeah.
a
And
month ago.
and then I was thinking about like how long we were there, and
And
I was
speak
like,
of the devil, here's Janet Dionis.
hi Janet.
Both of our Janets are here.
So for everyone in the chat, Janet Dionis is the former executive director of Block Island Historical Society. She put up with our butts while we were there. She was nice enough to put us up in her house.
She was a wonderful host.
Yeah, hopefully she still likes us. Oh yay, Janet says she's already got that book.
Yeah.
That's Janet, I use library.
A lot of us probably do. And I do have one of my bookshelves cataloged. I don't have the other one cataloged. And I think the other one is where this book is. So
I know there's probably maybe 10 books that haven't made it into my catalog, but I feel like you got to get with the program here.
yeah, I know.
So we went on Saturday late afternoon to Block Island to spend the afternoon evening with Janet, farting around the island, getting a little tour, because the last time I was there, we just went to the historical and back. And then on Sunday, she hosted a quilt turning for the New England Quilt Study Group, which is not officially affiliated with American Quilt Study Group. It's a regional group, but there's no real affiliation. It's just a loose affiliation. And we did a really nice turning of mostly different quilts than the last. If you remember, we went last year, but this time, we made sure to get photos of lots of stuff in the museum. So we're going to give you a smattering of stuff today. Not really the turning. That will be next time. We'll focus on that. This is all, Janet made an amazing exhibit on shipwrecks, and there's a million interesting placard things to read. We can't read them all. There's far too much information. So what we've done is we'll show you a smattering, we'll look at some stuff, but I put together a Canva presentation. Is the link already in the description stuff?
Not yet.
Okay.
I was rushing.
So there'll be a link. There'll be a link in
Yeah.
the description for y'all to go. It's a public link. You won't need anything fancy to get into it. And it's a Canva presentation that will have all of the exhibit photos that we took, and you can zoom in and you can read them at your leisure, and you can really look at things, because otherwise it would just be way too much for us to go through. And oh, and Stephanie's also put it in the chat.
Yep.
And we want you guys to see stuff. So if this was your sign to get your butt to Block Island, then get your butt to Block Island.
Yeah, I haven't spent much time in Rhode Island in general, but I mean, I think this is like a nice day trip. To just take the ferry, hang out on the islands. I mean, it's you can rent
bicycles,
motorbike and bicycle sort of things. Yeah, scooters and bicycles and yeah. It's very great.
It's you can pick the high-speed ferry. It's like an hour. It's not, you can take a car if you want. Not that there's a whole lot of driving to do.
Yeah. Or parking.
Yep. You can walk to the historical from the ferry. It's right down the street, and there's restaurants, and it's just lovely. And the weather was perfection.
Perfect. We could have duked it out with Janet in Monterey for perfect weather on a perfect day. It was glorious.
I was really nervous because when we went last year on the same weekend, the weather was amazing. Everything went off without a hitch. And luckily, there was only one person returning from last year's group. It was all different people this time, which was like, oh, good, because the bar is so high from last year with just everything. But this year was great too. Perfect weather. We had no issues. Nobody got lost. Everybody got there. Everyone had a fantastic time. So when Janet picked us up, she took us on a tour of the island, which, like I said, we didn't get to see last time. And we just took, just some random photos of beautifulness. This is not anything super important in the moment. It was just like, look how beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean, Janet. I think Janet said it's 6 miles long by 3 miles wide.
Something
It's
like that. Not very big.
Yeah,
It feels pretty
you
decent.
are not far
but
from water. Plus,
yeah.
it's got ponds. Like an island with ponds. Like that's just something that I'm like, I don't know.
And-
Just so
Well,
you're always close to some water.
yeah, well, and Janet, it's a number of ponds, isn't it?
I remember from her house you can see like the big one, right? The big one that they cut a channel into the island to get in there. And then there's all these little ponds. I guess, it was farmland, and now they're either just still land or people have built houses and stuff, but just something it was new to me. Like I had never seen anything like that before geographically. So very cool.
Yeah, it was just, I could have just spent the entire day just driving around.
Oh yeah, it was just one of the most beautiful places that I visited in quite some time.
So here we are standing. I know everyone's probably like, why are we looking at this? So we're standing in the back of the Historical Society, and the reason for taking this kind of weird, awkward looking photo is you can see that this is a hill here, and this is called Calico Hill. And the stories of Calico Hill is they would be taking fabric from a shipwreck and laying it all along the hill to dry. Yeah, and it became Calico Hill. And Janet, please feel free to add anything if we're not remembering correctly. But it's funny. Maybe this exists somewhere and I just haven't seen it, but I really want an artist's rendition of what Calico Hill would have looked like.
Well, Janet's little quilt is kind of like an abstract kind of rendition of Calico Hill made out of Calico Hill calico.
Because I'm pretty sure that there aren't any photos of anything existing anywhere at any time. If I'm remembering correctly.
I don't think that. I think all of the pictures that we saw were just.
Well, I know I haven't seen any.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just thinking, like, I don't think anything existed anywhere. But yeah, the sun was, you can tell here, like, the sun's going down, and I was just like, oh yeah, think.
And if I'm remembering also some of the stuff that
yeah, Janet says there's no photos of Calico on the hill.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, there was somebody trying to build right there, and the fact that it had this important. The Historical Society is able to say, like, there was this important thing. Yeah. They are going to be. I thought they stopped it. Oh no! I thought that the Calico Hill significance was able to stop it. Well, we will just haunt them. Well, if we need to come and like yell at somebody, I don't know, storm City Hall, I don't know.
We could we could also, like, on the day they're supposed to break ground, we could just cover the hill in calico.
Yes, I have enough. I'm sure between the two of us, we have enough fabric.
Absolutely. That'll be really sad, but I'm glad I have pictures.
Yeah, it's so charming and it's so lovely. I mean, it's like the first thing you see as you're leaving.
And you can just picture the hill being covered in fabric. Yeah, calico protest. Let's do it, Janet. I'll wrap myself up in calico. This is just a pretty. This is the back of the historical. It's just
Yeah, it's
pretty.
like golden hour.
Um, we're driving by, and this is in kind of like the little downtown area where you come in on the ferry and stuff. And we're just driving around. I am just like,
I was just taking random pictures out the window.
well, and um, Stephanie's like, oh my God, that's an Oddfellows hall. And I'm like, huh? And she's like, look, and I couldn't see, I couldn't see the sign or anything. And then when I was going through the photos, I was like, oh yeah, look at that.
Mhm.
But it was breezy. It was nice. So I was really just like, like you just that island life. I haven't tried this ice cream though. I think they weren't open yet when we were there.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any activity there.
But yeah, it was cool to see an Oddfellows because I don't think I've ever seen one. Like that's like still got the sign on it.
Yeah, still got a sign.
Like I've
You
seen
know,
I've seen buildings where historically it was Oddfellows, but
yeah, there was one right by, like walking distance from my house, but I'm not sure which building it was. It's, certainly doesn't have like a sign like this, like a title on the building or anything. So, oh, these buildings are so pretty. And Janet actually just mentioned mansard roof. That is a mansard roof as well.
Yeah, I think this house is across the street, right? Isn't this across? Because I feel like, isn't this Calico Hill right here? Maybe. We're
Maybe.
coming down this way. And the historicals, I don't know. I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm
I feel like
very
that's what
bad
it is,
with
but I might not
directions.
have my
Yeah.
bearings.
I'm very bad with directions. I never have my bearings. So
There's some really, yes. Oh, I was right. Woo! There's some cute historic houses. I actually wish I'd gotten a picture of a house right across the street.
I did. There is a picture of it in my pictures and my photos. But
Okay,
I
I
don't
was
know if it
looking
might
through
have
and
been. It might have been a very bad picture because I took it through the window. Like,
oh, I was gonna say I was looking through and I didn't see it. There's just some very cute, quaint. There's some like Gothic architecture, like there just wasn't enough time to take photos of everything we would have taken photos of. Not that you would even necessarily want to look at all the there's a lot. There's a lot. Here's the historical. Yeah, see, so I was right. See this tower right here?
oh yeah, okay,
Boom.
yes, I have my
And
bearings now.
boom.
Yes, okay.
So yeah, this one's the
Yeah.
historical, which by the way, did y'all notice Stephanie's thumbnail for this video?
I wasn't sure if you'd had a chance to look at it yet.
only briefly, only briefly because I took a screenshot of it to put on our Instagram stories with the link to the stream. And just long enough for me to be like, hold on, because since we've got the historical building here, which is a gorgeous building in its own right. Hold on.
And it has a history as it was a boarding house and a place that people could rent, and like there's this big beautiful picture of people in front of it in like turn of the century, 1890s maybe. And I guess, Janet, don't share our thumbnail with any of the people on the island because they will probably be horrified.
I mean, that's what we're here for, isn't it? Hold on, I'm just
creating horror everywhere we go.
I'm sorry, I think it's hysterical. God, why is this taking so long to do? Hello? Come on, computer. Get your act together. Oh my
I mean, I have it right here. I could just slide it right on the screen if you want me to.
It's too late now. Okay. Let me get myself situated here. So you're gonna see this in our photos, but this is a little antique like swimsuit, and this is another antique ensemble, and she put our heads on it.
Yeah, here's a uh,
So I just had to share that because it's also really funny because like in every photo you have headphones. Some
because I
variety,
always have headphones.
some variety of headphones. So I think we should start calling you like earless Stephanie or something
Yeah,
because
here.
it's like Schrodinger's ear. Like they don't know if you have ears or not because they've never seen them.
I might not. I might have gigantic ears under here. I might have teeny tiny little ears. Like you don't even know.
Um our second Janet, a bit of whimsy. All right, take your thing down there if you still have that up
I
there.
did. I did.
Okay. All right, back
Okay.
to
Back to
our
the
regularly scheduled programming here.
back to the seriousness of this lovely island.
Yeah. So one thing we didn't or I didn't post any pictures of here is you know, we were allowed to get up into like the storage area and things going on the third floor. And I'm not gonna lie, there does feel like there's a little
A little
like
ghostiness.
yeah, like maybe you're not alone. Um Also this cupola situation is terrifying.
Yeah, Jill went halfway up the ladder and was like, "Ah, no." I
Um
was like, "I will not be climbing up into the cupola."
yeah. Yeah, it's a little scary.
But it's
Um
so it is so cool. It is such a cool building.
it is, and it is just this looking at it on the outside here is extremely deceptive. Uh on the outside, this building looks small and it does not feel
It's
small when
vast. It
you're
is
on this
vast inside. Yeah. I mean, all
especially
the
when you
rooms are small, but there's a lot of rooms in this house.
yeah, but when you like when you get up onto to the second floor and you're going kind of through a lot of the, you know, like standing exhibits, it it's like a maze. You're just like,
Mhm.
and you go into this room and this room and this room and this room and this room, and somehow you end up back on the creepy stairs. So yeah, there's a lot of character to be offered here, you know, aside from good lord, that sun is like right in my soul. Um aside from the really awesome architecture, if you love historic buildings like we do, um the exhibits are also really really nice. Oh, another just for pretty because it was pretty.
Oh, the water was just so pretty and calm that day.
Mm-hmm. The first night we were there, it was pretty windy, but and another.
Oh, and is this that little skinny house?
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was built as some guy's clubhouse away
Some
from
guys
your real
fishing.
house.
Yes, it was some guy's fishing house. Like his wife would send him there just to go fishing, and like it was like his man cave, but a whole house. I love it. I just, like I'm not even mad about it. I mean, I'm kind of thinking like, okay, on this lovely island, these people had two houses, and I'm not even mad about it because it's it's just amusing.
Well, aside from it being amusing, I think you should be a little bit mad because it's not like they offered you to use it. But yes, it was lovely. Lovely. Here's another gorgeous building. And one thing is there's all these old stone
Hmm.
walls everywhere, which I love.
Yeah, and it's stuff. It's little things like that, and I guess the architecture itself that gives you like you're in New England, even
Hmm.
though you're on an island. You're in New England because it still has that like I guess I guess this island has been kind of like developed multiple times
Hmm.
over the years, and it's kind of last historical iteration was like just that very like late 19th century kind of architecture and look.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So cute.
It's so quaint. I mean, don't get me wrong, you have new architecture on the island. Notice we're not looking at pictures of that stuff.
Yeah, the only good thing I could say about the new architecture is I got to give them credit. Like it kind of blends, like they put cedar shake on it because that's like accurate. But big mansion of cedar shake beside teeny cute little, 1890s cottage. It's kind of like, mm.
Yeah.
But
So
we are purists here, so.
well, and we chose what we cared most about. We're kind of like on top of like a hill thing here looking down
Yeah, that
into
is. Oh, and
part of
I'm
like
drawing a complete
the
blank. But
nature
yeah,
reserve, right?
it's a nature preserve, and it's
Mhm.
somebody's name. Um,
And there's all kinds of like hiking trails throughout. We get in the car and Janet's like, "So, did you guys want to do any hiking?" And we're just kind of like, "No."
like no thanks, trying to quit. Um, yes, Rodman's Hollow. That's right, Rodman's Hollow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, you're kind of up a little bit at sea level and it goes down, into this sort of, well, hollow.
Yeah,
Um,
we did see some area that was kind of like a bit of like a clearing, and there were people down in there.
mhm.
Where on any other day, I would definitely maybe like a week prior to when we were there, I would consider doing stuff like that. But we also had limited time. We got there at what, like 3 o'clock
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah,
We had to
yeah.
eat dinner. We're trying to drive around. So it was one of those, I just want to see lots of things. I don't
Yeah,
need to.
if I was lucky enough to stay on the island for a few days, I would absolutely have wanted to go here and walk
Oh,
around.
well, there you go, Janet.
Yeah.
Stephanie's inviting us back.
To walk around in Rodman's Hollow. Yeah.
Yeah, Alicia, I'm sure you would love this.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is gorgeous.
hmm there's a number of like historical, hotel type buildings around.
Yeah, so
Okay,
these
Janet, tell your husband we're coming back.
he was wonderful also. He was like, no big deal. Welcome to our home. So,
Mhm.
the
Oh,
spring
Janet
house,
says
yes.
this is the spring house. Yep.
And these are like these big old like hotel-y sort of things where they have wedding parties and that kind of stuff. I
You
mean,
know,
who would not want to get married, in this beautiful place where you're kind of elevated and can most likely see the sea from there, you know?
and it's funny the way that these two buildings look. Do you know what it kind of reminds me of? The Shining.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but when I see stuff like this, I think of Dirty Dancing.
Huh.
I
They're
think
not
of
on
the
an
cat.
island.
No, but the Catskills, they like this kind of architecture, just like these big old, like hotel kind of, a different era.
Mhm.
Not the kind of like hotel type adventures we have today, but
Mhm.
a very different
You
era.
know,
And it
one thing
just,
I didn't get a photo of, and I don't know that you did either, was the cemetery. Did you get a photo of the
oh
cemetery?
yeah, I didn't. Every time we drove by it, I was like fiddling around with my phone and was like, ah, I missed it.
Yeah, so there's this really cool historic
Hmm.
cemetery, at least, well, there's more than one, but a big one we drove by where Janet does cemetery tours, and it was very interesting. But it did definitely, talking about the cemetery tour and stuff like that, it did definitely get me thinking about kind of the like haunted history of the island. Oh yeah, Alicia, it does have some Mackinac Island vibes. Check out the video on the historic website about life at the Spring House in the 1950s. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's lots of cool video on the
Mm-hmm.
site.
Here's another hotel that
Yeah,
when you get off the ferry, you just one road and you take a right, and then this road does this like really sharp curve to go
oh,
down
it's
to
right there.
where the historical is. And you walk by this very cool looking hotel. A lot of things weren't really open when we were there because we were there the week before they went on season officially. It was still pretty busy there. But
Janet Burchard, property listings are comparable to Pebble Beach. Yes, yes, ma'am, they are. But yes,
yeah.
the buildings are old. Well, but only like half the buildings are older. There's lots of new construction that are
Mhm.
even probably could put Pebble Beach to shame.
Mhm.
But yes,
Um,
it's very sought after real estate.
yeah, there's a number of hotels and stuff on the building. A couple people from our group for the New England quilt study, for the quilting, they were staying on island for the night. Last year, a few of our groups stayed on island for the night. I will say, yes, it is expensive. But if you're just gonna stay for like a night and spend 2 days there, I highly recommend it. We'd
Yeah.
also taken a trip to Nantucket, if you remember. Um, Last year we looked at some stuff from Nantucket, and a couple of our people stayed overnight there. Nantucket is double the price of anything you're doing on Block Island. It's a much bigger island. There's a lot more on that island. But if you wanted to get those kind of vibes that is far more reasonable, then this is where you want to be. So
Yeah.
just throwing that out there.
Hey, Brenda! Yay! I'm glad our notifications are working.
Yay! You made it back. Okay. So now we're getting into the museum here. And like I said, I made a Canva that has all of this stuff in it.
Yep.
So
And
you
I'll
can go.
update. Yeah, I'll update the description for the this stream when we're done, so that it's got that link.
Yeah, you'll be able to go in and out of it as you please to peruse, and so I have no reason to take it down. And if this works out well, other than I can also put these into our Facebook group, but I know everybody's not there. We can maybe continue doing something like this when we have like a lot of
Yeah, especially
stuff.
at some museums, because I mean, obviously we were there for quilt reasons, but part of the visit there, Janet did the quilt turning, but she also did the museum tour. And the museum, I
Mhm.
mean, it has like the full history. It is fascinating. And I mean, like
Mhm.
it starts before this. This is the
Yeah, from
European
prehistoric.
settlement, but it starts prehistoric, and it is fascinating. Like,
Mhm.
all the stuff about this island and the indigenous people, and what they did there, and then when the Europeans came, and all their tomfoolery, and then the people that actually, I mean, they pushed the indigenous out, but where they settled and how they farmed the island and stuff. It's really
Mhm.
fascinating. And I guess even the indigenous folks, there was like connections with the mainland and like what their whole nation was doing, and it was so fascinating. I mean, I really don't know a lot about New England history, and this was just like really
Well,
cool.
and the even more fascinating thing was Janet was able to tell us like all of the things.
Yeah.
She knew all of the things. We should have just stuck a mic on her and just recorded everything she was saying. So for the essence of that, like we're not going to read all of these placards that I'm going to show you. This one I had to show because
This
this
is my favorite
photo,
picture in the whole place. This
right.
picture I just love.
Yeah, so here we've got Victorian age. In the 1870s, the first reliable harbor was created on Block Island's eastern shore, known today as Old Harbor. Steamboats could now comfortably bring tourists ashore. What followed was a robust boom in tourism, with grand hotels marketing Block Island as a superior health retreat. City dwellers who came to rejuvenate by the sea were enchanted by the treeless landscape lined with crisscrossing stone walls punctuated by windmills and kettle ponds. The funny thing is that the island was quite forested when they showed up, and then they burned up through all the trees.
Yeah, they used all the trees for like firewood and lumber and stuff. So the island was treeless. And now has small trees.
Mhm.
There's a few big trees, but for the most part they're smallish, like fruit like trees. Like they're
Yeah, and
yeah.
this photo is just like
This
fun.
picture just gave me so much joy to see it, because you could put these people in modern clothing, and it looks like a picture right off of Instagram of a bunch of people, like a bunch of friends having a good time. Like I have when I have discussed like what the feelings I get, like the connections to history, I think back when I was a kid, like even thinking about the 1950s felt like it was, an eon ago. And of course, my mother was like, I was born in the 50s, like it wasn't the Stone Age. But as I have studied more history, I feel like, 1900, that wasn't that long ago. But you can literally like soul to soul connect with these people and think like,
Mhm.
this just looks like people from my backyard having a good old time, you know? Like I just
Brenda
love
says,
it.
"I see my next bathing suit." Just wait, Brenda. Just
Yeah,
wait.
just wait.
Um,
Actually, I have a pattern for one of those bathing suits, and I have the wool to make it.
I'm really glad that we don't currently live in an era where we wear hats while we're in bathing suits, because
Yeah,
these
I'm not a
gals,
hat person, period. But
well, these gals like have little like swim hats on.
hmm
So I'm glad about that. Um, here's the beginnings here. So this is the exhibit that Janet put together, which is amazing.
fantastic, yeah.
Um, and again, why I added all of these. So she's got these really big, um, placards here with tons of stuff on them, and we could never do it justice going through each of them. So you guys get to go through them. Took I got most of it.
hmm
Um,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think what you put together was most of them.
mhm.
Um, such a fascinating, interesting story, and just like again, it's stuff that I worked in the maritime industry, but I don't know any like this historical type stuff, and especially about this specific place. Obviously, it is heartbreaking. There's a lot of tragedy involved, in shipwrecks, but um, it's just so interesting. Like I had no idea.
Well, and like just, we got here before the 20th century, hundreds of ships were stranded or wrecked in Block Island waters. It's a lot.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, it's because of like where the island sits, and these confluence of Atlantean waters. It's sitting out there, what is it, about 13 miles, 12 miles off the coast of Rhode Island, and it's just the Atlantic is not always a gentle ocean. It's,
Mm.
and
Fun fact, a friend of mine that I did my archaeology dig in North Stonington, Connecticut with, we went to college together. He is a historical archaeologist, grew up in Plymouth, Mass, which is a Cape Cod area. And one of his hobbies was diving shipwrecks. So I remember him telling me a story about diving some shipwrecks in and around New Bedford, which was whaling community in Massachusetts, and there's a big whaling museum there, which supposedly like has some quilts that I
oh,
heard. It's just FYI.
hmm.
Um, so that place is on the bucket list. But yeah, it's one of those
Isn't
things where
there
I'm like,
isn't there some controversy about diving shipwrecks? It's in some cases diving. A shipwreck is essentially a grave site,
mm-hmm,
and I realize that there's like archaeological focus on things, and where people have permission, but I do know that like you are not allowed to dive or swim around like Pearl Harbor, um,
mm-hmm.
because it's people
Well, I would
died
argue,
there. Like,
there's definitely rules, don't get me
yeah,
wrong. Pearl
yeah,
Harbor would be
yeah,
quite different though than diving around like in 1800s
yeah,
shipwreck.
yeah.
I don't know what all the rules are, and I don't know
I also,
everywhere who's
and I'm
dive.
sure it's probably state by state, and there might be some federal laws and stuff too, but I guess uh oh, Janet says they get a lot of research and donations from divers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess if you find stuff, like that's another thing that if you find a sunken Spanish galleon full of like like gold coins, like I don't
Mm-hmm.
think you're allowed to like stuff those in your diving pockets, and like you have to give that stuff to somebody.
I'd argue it's often probably a bit of a gray area.
Yeah, yeah.
Also,
I
can I
I
just say,
vaguely read some of that treasure hunter type stuff.
this friend is um an artifact whisperer. When we were on our dig, he ended up, when we had our site open, he ended up in the area of this house we were digging on that turned out to be the basement. And it was two guys digging on this. One guy, every time he was digging, nothing. Then this other guy would get in and he's pulling stuff out of there left and right. Not to mention that we'd gone on a number of just generalized kind of hikes in the area and other surrounding areas in Connecticut. We stayed on Connecticut College campus, and he's just walking around and he's pulling up arrowheads and antique buttons, just that have been milled around on the surface of stuff. So for all I know, he went diving because he felt a beacon, like, and it
Yeah.
tethered him to, I don't ever recall him talking about pulling stuff off of shipwreck dives, just that they had dived some.
Oh, well,
There's
my assumption
number.
was he was doing it in the like under the archaeologist
No,
kind of
no,
like.
no,
Oh,
just
okay.
as a hobby diver.
Gotcha.
Because I mean, there's a number of well-known wrecks in and around, the Massachusetts harbor area.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say probably the whole East Coast is full of them.
Oh yeah.
They're always
So,
finding stuff like around North Carolina when, waters like recede, and
mhm.
I guess when there's storms and like stuff gets pushed, or, they find stuff.
Yeah, as far as I don't know for sure. He did work for one of the public archaeology labs at one point. I had a number of friends that did. I never heard about them ever doing any work in diving. So I don't know if that's them or if maybe something connected to the Coast Guard takes over. I'm just not sure. Plus, they
Yeah.
also just probably didn't have the time and the manpower, because any time that you're doing any kind of work where you could end up on a historical site, or they have to stop everything they're doing and call in a public archaeology lab. I wonder,
Right.
Janet, if that would happen on Calico Hill too, if they're going to do some stuff there. If in Rhode Island it's called PAL, if they're going to come in and have to, I know people that have worked for them, if they're going to have to come in and do
Let us
some
know if you need a
digging.
whistleblower.
Right? I was like, I can make a phone call and be like, we can't touch it, there's human remains, like.
In more ways than one, but go ahead.
All right, so Janet just says, I know divers needed permits to dive the Wida. Is it Wida in
Wida?
Wellfleet?
Wida?
Yeah, I have no idea. And to be fair, when he was telling me about it, I didn't ask any questions. So for all I know,
I think it's interesting because it's like one of those things, like, on land, you're, you walk into some piece of land and you go, I think I want to like look around here. It probably belongs to someone, but when you're talking about the water, it may or may not belong to someone. I guess like there's a certain point it's not the US anymore. I mean, that's farther out than, where the island is, but I don't know what all those rules are. I'm sure they're intricate and interesting.
so the next time you dive a ship, don't take anything.
For sure.
So this is just showing you how Janet had our day set up here. So in this big room is the whole exhibit about shipwrecks and things, and then she had some quilts up on stands on this side, and then this is where our big turning was. Don't worry, we will look at quilts, just we'll look at the quilts up close next week. But I wanted to show you guys how well she did stuff for us. So she put some crazy quilts.
These are so fun. I love these.
You're like, look,
they're-
here's a ship.
Yeah,
And
there were
I
three.
didn't notice this like pirate dude down here with this other ship.
Yeah, I was so drawn to that one because of all the embroideries and stuff. And this one I think was made in, it had where is it? The date's right there.
1976. It's Lydia
yeah.
Sawyer.
And then I want to say it's either at the top or it's on the other one. There's a date of 77, I think. Because I had asked, oh, are these bicentennial quilts? They're not. They're not
Mhm.
specifically bicentennial quilts. They just happen to have been made then. But what I think is actually very interesting is these are what Janet called dump quilts, because most, the fabric was from the dump. The dump there on the island, and like apparently that was like the big spot to be, like after church on Sunday, go to church, have some lunch, go to the dump. And people would like get rid of stuff, pick up stuff, and that fabric there on the top is, yeah, is will be seen in numerous quilts.
Yeah, this is one of the fabrics identified as wrecking cloth. Saved from one of these shipwrecks, and then because there's so much of it, it
Yeah,
ends
that
up
she says
in lots of stuff.
Murtis's stash in the 1870s.
Mhm.
1870s, right?
Mhm.
As a kid, we went to the dump to watch bears.
Wow,
I,
there's
I guess
bears
it
at the
depends.
dump?
I guess it depends on what kind of dump you have. If you have a dump that attracts wildlife, well, then you go to see the wildlife. If you have
Yeah.
a dump where people have like piles of fabric, then you go for the fabric.
Mhm. Mhm.
Early 1900s. Yeah. So Janet did a wonderful talk for American Quilt Study Group, and it was specifically about a
New
woman.
England. Oh, wait,
I'm
you're talking
talking
about
about,
seminar.
yes.
Sorry.
She did this wonderful talk, and about this woman named Murtis that lived on the island, and some of her quilts were what we looked at in the quilt turning,
Mhm.
and they are on display in the display cases. And she sounds like it's just a charming lady, but like she has these things documented about her that are still available to see.
Mhm.
these just
Yeah.
these two quilts were just so fun,
Yeah, so this one's
and like,
1977.
yeah, and there's lots of names, and
Mhm.
just like cute little embroideries, like so very 70s, and
Mhm.
I just love it.
Yep, here's our big pile, and this pile was pretty big.
It was 20 some quilts, maybe,
Yeah, it
wasn't
was
it?
probably like 20 quilts. Mhm.
Hmm.
Yep, it was a lot. Um, and then we have wrecking here. And I put this one up on purpose because the phrase the term is used a lot. So here, darling, you
Yeah,
can read
there's a whole lot of stuff associated with this idea of shipwrecks. So could you
Mhm.
make it a little bit bigger?
Yeah, is that good?
Yes. So before the 1880s, wrecking was a job for fishermen to supplement their income. Terms were negotiated, often influenced by a vessel's degree of desperation. Disputes between the vessel owner, the ship's master, the cargo's insurer, and the wreckers were common. The Federal Wrecking Act of 1825 was enacted to prevent the spoils of shipwrecks within the U.S. jurisdiction from being carried to foreign ports for adjudication, and led to increasing regulation to impose order on the complex practice of salvaging. Like, this was something like it just never even occurred to me. And I mean, I'm kicking myself for not actually having it occur to me, but that there's a lot going on when there's a shipwreck. It is not just like, whoops, this ship ran aground or toppled over. It is not that simple. I mean, obviously there's the human life and all that, but then you've got all this cargo, and that cargo's insured and it belongs to somebody. And, like, the captain doesn't leave the ship. The captain is supposed to go down with the ship if the ship's going down, like that's the integrity of the captain. So yeah, like it's so much more complex than I realized, but okay. Before the first life saving station, LSS, was manned on Block Island in 1872, wreckers were often first responders. The need was so great, more stations followed. Responsibility for rescues now with the LSS wreckers. Responsibility for rescue now with the LSS, wreckers focused on developing their salvage skills. Ingenuity led to more sophisticated methods of freeing grounded ships, making submarine repairs, and salvaging cargo and vessels for auction. As the practice evolved, wrecking companies formed with skilled crews using tugs, lighters, barges, divers, and steam pumps. Wreckers provided an essential service to the island. They refloated or scuttled the vessels that littered Block Island's shores to prevent them from posing hazards to other ships. So either they got them buoyant again or they, towed them out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Janet said like there's I think this apocryphal like number of like 1,000 or more shipwrecks. And there was a historical poster that showed like just all of these little dots, like all the way around the island of like, I think every square inch of the coastline had a shipwreck. But the major big ones where, lots of lives were lost or lots of cargo was lost or documented here in this exhibit.
Yeah, and the exhibit here documents a number of different wrecks. That is all in that Canva presentation. So Janet talks a lot about Murtis. I think at this point, Murtis is her BFF.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
she has Murtis's diary here, as well as a number of her quilts. And this is the page where she's discussing the Larchmont
And that
disaster.
that was a bad one. That was one
Mhm.
where there was lives lost, and unfortunately Murtis lost her brother in that
Mhm.
wreck.
You know what's interesting is a diary this old still has the dates on the pages, and I had one. Remember those ones you could get when you were a kid that had like the little golden lock on it, and it was small, and you'd open it, and mine was like that. Just
Yeah, I had one of those too.
yeah, just making a historical connection. And then here we have another one also. Let's see, Laura Milliken's diary entry on the 5-year anniversary of the Larchmont disaster that took the life of her son, V. Stanley Milliken.
And Laura Milliken, of course, is Murtis's mother, right?
I don't think I remembered that.
Yes, Stanley Milliken is Murtis's brother.
I did not remember that.
And the thing I thought was so fantastic that Janet figured out, or it was known, that Laura started Murtis writing in her diary as a young girl, like child, like 5 or 6 years old, and to give her this habit of writing in a diary. And I mean, that's not something we teach children necessarily. I mean, even when we were kids, I wrote into my diary because it was like the thing you were supposed to do. You were a girl, you write in your diary. But Laura started her writing early and recording her day, even though some of it was like probably pretty dull. But she like in her handwriting started Murtis's diary when she was very little. And so Murtis then wrote, kept a very good diary throughout the years.
My mom was a prolific journaler as
I
well.
used to be, I used to be, and I think technology ruined it for me.
I wonder if Murtis is creeping around because you're like talking about her and my light's flickering. That girl.
Murtis is like, you're talking about me.
Yeah. I wanted to show this one because there's this piece of lace here from the Larchmont.
Yeah. That was such a cool cabinet, like a display case, because it had all these little things that were, just stuff from the ship.
Here's a piece of the curtains of the wrecked Palatine. I try to pull out anything that was textile-y.
If I remember
the lace.
Yeah, the Palatine was much earlier, if I'm remembering correctly. The Palatine was like earlier.
I didn't stick up the boards for those wrecks. They're in the Canva. Unless Janet's going to recall the date off the top of her head, which would not surprise me in the least.
At the South County History Center.
Yeah, I also just really like this print.
Okay, 1738, yeah.
And then this board talks about Calico
I like
Hill.
Yeah, and this is the 3 women that she's got documented, of the quilts.
Mhm.
Because some of the quilts don't have a name associated with them, but these ladies are documented.
Yep, so we got Calico Hill here, and then it says what remained in the hull of the Spartan and later washed up on shore when the ship broke apart was collected and spread out to dry behind the Woonsocket House on what is now called Calico Hill. Nicknamed wrecking cloth, islanders made good use of the salvaged yardage. And here's a postcard of the Spartan with a fabric swatch from the cargo. That's so cool.
I mean, it's very sad that there was a shipwreck, but it is so very cool, you know. And like, I guess there's the rules about like if the fabric washed ashore, it was yours, but you couldn't go
Mhm.
take it off the ship unless the captain was gone. As long as the captain was on the ship,
Mhm.
it was like protected. They couldn't.
Yeah, so we looked actually, Janet, I'm pretty sure we looked at all of these quilts, didn't we? Because these are all looking
Hmm.
familiar to me. And
Hmm.
oh, and she said that no one died in that wreck.
The salt water didn't damage the fabric. Well, that's the thing. I mean, they were, they were at a point where like the ship was wrecking and they were getting, like getting cargo off of it. It wasn't like it was in the water for a really long time.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was they were harvesting it from the sea, I think pretty quickly. So it wasn't like, I mean, you hear these stories, like I think I've read like in Smithsonian Magazine and Nat Geo and stuff, like these wrecked ships that maybe had some type of soft, like either fabric or clothing or household linens, and that stuff like does it, yes, it immediately falls apart like as soon as they bring it up, because like the oxidation just immediately attacks it. But
Mhm.
yeah, they would have washed it. Yeah, I could see that the salt water wouldn't, if it wasn't down there very long, it wouldn't have started.
Well, the other thing too is that at this, at this stage, we're not necessarily putting all the chemicals on fabric that we do now that would maybe interact with salt water, at least the way that I
Hmm.
think about it. And also this
Yeah.
wouldn't be fabric that would have been sitting in the water for years,
Yeah,
before
I
they're
mean that
pulling it
that's the
out.
yeah,
So.
that's the point I'm making, that it was, from the time it like if, thinking of if a ship literally like wrecked and broke apart and you have like cargo
Mhm.
floating about it, it's probably no different than like your clothes getting wet with salt water and you just having to rinse it out.
Mhm. So we will look at these more closely, but this conversation print on this red fabric is one of these things. Is it called a mace? Is it a mace?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like big. I know the picture's not super fantastic in this moment. There will be better ones, but it
Hmm.
was just so funny that there's so much of this red fabric where they're just like
Yeah. What
weapons
a
on
weird
it.
Well, what a weird thing to have. And if you can't tell what it is, like I guess a mace and a flail, they're like, I don't know, medieval
Yeah,
weapons or like,
yeah.
and it's like a big handle and a chain, and at the end of the chain is like a spiky
Spiked
ball
ball.
to like
Yeah.
whack people with. Like, what a weird thing to put on conversation print.
Yeah. If you don't like my quilt, this is what I'll beat you with.
Well, but then again, they also put like houseflies on conversation prints.
That's true.
Those wacky
That's true.
Victorians. But yeah, Murtis is the green and white quilt. Is hers. It's an Indian
Mhm.
hatchet is the, and
Yep.
it's a very simple quilt, but it is lovely. It is just a
Yeah.
very nice quilt.
Well, and also like she was a pretty lady.
She really was. She just looked like nice, classy, like just a good person.
Yeah, and well, and it's not often that you have that you know who's making stuff. It's
Yeah.
really that's not
Yeah.
that's the exception. It's not the rule.
Mhm.
So to have all that is a big deal, and we will look closer at these quilts next week. I also had my little this is from the side door of the museum where you can really see like the hilliness of the hill and then the streets like right here. So you
Mhm.
can kind of imagine just like seeing this whole thing just drenched in just bolts and bolts of fabric all rolled out. Must have been so cool. Janet, can we petition to do a reenactment?
Ooh, yeah. That's I'm saying I've got enough. I've got fabric on molds. I'm happy to toss it over the ferry. So we have to run out into the ocean and rescue it, and then we can spread it out on Calico Hill.
Can't we just get them wet and just,
Well, I'm
put
talking
them
about like splashing out there in like maybe some ankle deep water, like, or I can go knee high, like, I don't want to get like neck deep the way that the poor salvagers and the wreckers had to, because the story that Janet told about that, I was like, oh no, thank you, that's awful.
Alicia just said it's a public art
There you
installation.
go. Yes, a reenactment public
Like,
art
well,
installation.
Janet, don't you think we'd have a good argument if we were like, fine, if you guys are gonna like build on this hill, at least let us do a reenactment of this for historical preservation, because photographs don't exist. Like, we could even use reproduction fabric that can look semi
Sure.
realistic. Alicia, if we do this, do you want to be a part of it? Like,
I
well,
can
like,
whip out some costumes that, are period accurate. Like,
well, you don't even need to. We can just put our head on the mannequins in the in the museum like you already did. And you know what? Honestly, we could probably just call in the nerds. Be like, everybody, come on, bring your fabric. We're going to Calico Hill. I mean, I really would. Janet, you need to talk to somebody. You know a lot of people. Oh my goodness. This
okay, so
photo.
this is the picture that I used
Mhm.
for our thumbnail. This was my, of course, other favorite picture. There's 3 pictures that I just loved, and I doubt you have the third one. But it's Dickinson, the bird lady. But yeah, this one is just so fun, and I mean, I guess Janet didn't, like, they don't know really like who these people are, but they could be a family, or they could, they're people that were obviously staying at the Block Island house, which at that point
Mhm.
was a boarding house. And the girls there on the left, and the little boys have obviously been tussling. Because the girls are looking smug and have croquet mallets, and the boys are looking unhappy, and in fact, I think one is crying. So, um, this is just so, I mean, like, photographers would come through, places, I know, during this time period and take pictures. Um, and this could be somebody that's with them taking the picture. It could be a professional photographer. But I don't know, it just seems like they all kind of assembled, but not all of them were ready for the picture.
No, like, look at her.
And there's like a little there's a movement in there, a little girl that like moved, and I think, is it in between? You can
Oh,
see.
right here. Is it right here?
Yeah, yeah. Isn't there? Okay, Janet says probably a professional photographer did this.
Mhm.
But I mean, you can imagine. I mean, think about, like, this is like, late 1800s, early 1900s. I'd say late 1800s in this case. And, you come to take the waters. There's, like, some of the fancier hotels have some kind of like, come boil away in our seawater. Like, it's good for you.
Boil away your problems.
And yeah, there probably was that, there were probably people like that, like a professional photographer that's like, hey, I could take your picture, and
Yep. This picture is so cool. Okay.
yeah. Here's the bathing suit. Brenda,
Yeah.
you're still here?
Here's the swimsuit that my head is on.
And I just looking at this, I'm pretty sure this one's cotton. But they did make these out of wool.
Mm-hmm.
Why won't my doctor recommend a summer by the sea? Right, Alicia? Like, I mean, I think we all need we need a prescription that says you must go to the seaside for 2 weeks. Oh, it's linen. Okay, it's linen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, this thing is adorable.
It really is pretty cute. I mean, the little
And
and
it's still in such great
the
condition.
little sailor like collar, and the white, I don't know what you call it, the trim around the button placket, just very
Give
cute.
me this over a string bikini any day of the week.
Right.
Do you remember in like maybe late 90s, early 2000s when the tankini came in to style? It had like the shorts and then like a kind of a tank top kind of top.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like it was almost like a sports bra, or like a kind of a cropped tank top kind of thing. I had things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And it had like the little shorts and
Hmm.
I loved those. I don't like the ones that you jump in the water and it pops off. That happened to me on more than one occasion.
I have not
Um,
had the physique for a bikini in many a moon.
well, I mean, keep in mind in the late 90s, I was like 13. So,
Moving right along.
so
This
yeah,
dress, this dress was really pretty.
mm-hmm.
This is very like lots of finery.
Yep.
I think you got a better picture of it than I did.
Good. I'm glad. Yep. Again, these are all part of that Canva presentation, and I checked you can zoom in to stuff so that you can look at it. Stuff's in
Yeah,
really nice
I
condition.
never really looked at this ensemble very
Hmm.
much. That's really pretty. It's got like smocking right there on
Very
the.
simplistic.
Mhm.
Um, Still got that nice velvet on it. This one was my favorite.
Yeah, that one's a really cute, very pretty blue.
Hmm. Yeah, that blue is just stunning. And to also still be that blue and not be faded at all, or it was lovely. This stove is so cool. So it's called the Handy Laundry Stove.
Look at all of the spots for irons.
Yeah, like I'd never seen, obviously, like I have a number of like sat irons around, but
Hmm.
I'd never
Me
seen
too.
a contraption like this.
In fact, I think I have one right here. It's not. I can't reach it, but yes.
Oh, a sat iron? I was gonna say, you have a
Mhm.
laundry stove right there?
No, I have a sat iron. I mean, who has sat irons and doesn't use them as door stops and stuff? I mean, come on, or bookends.
Oh,
Hmm.
I never thought about them as a bookend, but like,
Yep,
duh.
for the spring house in Narragansett.
Hmm.
Yeah, so obviously, where would you be doing a lot of laundry? A hotel. Yep.
So here is Stephanie's ensemble.
And I don't know, Janet, did you have you had a chance to look at that other quilt? Um, because there was one of the last quilts we looked at, the backing, I mean, it was not in great condition. It was a quilt that had been loved and used and washed a lot, but I am not sure, but it looks to me like you very, very lightly you can see the print. Um, I think it looks like this dress, or this might actually just be a blouse. I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, this top here,
Mhm.
it looks like the same fabric, but I mean, again, not sure, but
Janet, if you're having a hard time seeing the print, if you get one of those blue lights, which are pretty cheap on Amazon, you get like a 4-pack, you'll be able to see the print better.
yeah, she said she was
Um,
gonna try to find, because the pictures I took were just, from like lifting up, where we had lifted and flipped over the corner, when it
mhm,
was being folded up, and but I think she was gonna try and look at like the whole thing to see if there was a less faded section
mhm.
to check out.
So, if I'm not mistaken, one of the
Are these
quilts,
dodges?
yeah, one of the quilts that's in that placard was also a little field Dodge, wasn't it? It's a little field somebody.
Maybe. I
It
know
was the second.
Dodge is one of the names of people that.
The center quilt was a somebody Littlefield something.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, this one's just showing kind of like typical like day wear for Block Island women. Like this was sitting like next to that dress ensemble, which I think I have a picture. Yeah, we get close to it. So it is a whole dress, Stephanie.
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure. I couldn't tell because like I didn't get a
This is
picture.
an
I don't think I got
apron.
a picture down there. Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was an apron or a skirt.
Mm-hmm. And then we got some fabric bowls here. Yeah, because you can see the print all the way down here. You can see the print here.
The
I
print
really
on that
like this
apron is
apron.
really cool too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I got a close up there of the fabric for you.
It's a really cool fabric. They
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they just remind me of like oyster shells, like the
Same.
little, yeah.
Same. I actually, it makes you think about the oysters in Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, I've never seen a fabric like that. It's just so pretty. I liked it.
I think I have a repro. Similar.
Oh. Hmm.
And similar color. I kind of wondered when I was looking at this, I was like, I wonder if this is faded and it used to be something else. Which, not to say that that it's not, but the repro is like a sand color, a light sand. Kinda. And then I also got this fabric because it's just cool. Mhm.
Ah, I'm glad you have this. Does
Mhm.
anybody know what that device is there? Cause we don't. Janet's been trying to find out. So that thing there, it's got like two handle, like it's almost like a there's a hinge on the end of it. It like I've showed it to some people and some of the suggestions I'm like, well, if it was bigger, yes. But it's
You
fairly
know,
small.
I
It's
should
like a
actually take this photo and post it in the Facebook group Early American. I'll bet you one of them
I'm
knows.
sure there is some like very simple explanation of what it is.
I'll bet you one
But
of those people know. That's a place people often go to identify
mhm.
antiques.
Ah, yes. Okay, so that Drunkard's Path quilt was by Samantha Dodge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey,
LJ says
okay.
a crimping tool of sorts. Yes, but like for what?
You know what? It's for your hair. It's an early crimper.
Yes, those early wooden crimpers. They worked really well.
Yep. Nice
Yeah,
to see you, LJ.
it does have a surface in between those two pieces that is grooved. You know, I mean, you could see along the edge, but
Too bad we didn't also get a photo of it open, huh?
yeah, you know, and I did see it open when Janet was talking about it to the group. And I didn't take a picture of it open, but I know.
Yeah, I just can't count on you for anything, huh? That is the last photo, y'all.
Won't you be surprised if you're correct? Yeah, if it
You
is a hair
know,
tool.
because there are some weird stuff.
You know, I would not take anything off the table. You know, it's the things the things they had. You know. Yeah, I mean, like Janet
Mhm.
Borchardt is saying, like they did crimp fabric with those. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not something like for crimping because it would need to be heated to crimp. I mean, that you know, just my opinion. And this thing was entirely wood except for that hinged end. You know, it had like a metal hinge, but
Hmm.
yeah, somebody suggested lemon squeezer. Like, sure, you could squeeze stuff with it. Yeah, I thought like, oh, is it like a linen? You know, for when you're making linen, like a flax. You know,
It's
you break the flax.
it's a meat tenderizer.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. But it seems like everything that you know, I kind of was brainstorming like, well, it would need to be bigger if it was for that, and then, you know, it would need to be metal if it was for that. So who knows?
Well, y'all, you have now seen part 1 of our adventures to Heavenland.
LJ says the antique tool appears to be a primitive wooden lemon or citrus squeezer, according to Google.
You know, I don't think that's the worst guess.
I don't think it is either. I mean, something for like a juicer is I think that's like the best option at this point.
I'm definitely gonna have to ask that Early American group. I'll bet you they're gonna know.
But you know, so like my grandmother always had, you know, because she bought a lot of like primitive stuff and you know antiques, and she always had all this stuff hanging in her kitchen. And they had like the ceiling had drywall, but then it had exposed beams like put into the drywall,
Mm-hmm.
and she'd like nailed stuff up there to hang down, you know. And sometimes it was things like, you know, herbs and peppers drying and things like that, and then tobacco processing, and you know, field equipment, like she had a hoe, you know, things like that. And there were always things that I just growing up always assumed that they were just kitchen implements because they were in her kitchen. And later on I'd find out like, no, that thing is for, you know, doing something with textiles, and that thing is used for cutting tobacco, and that thing is used, you know, and it's like that's used in the garden. Why she got it in her kitchen? So you never know. Like things are just, they're oddball weird things, and if it's, we don't have a frame of reference for it.
Well, I will ask that antique group and report back.
Yeah, I like inquiring minds want to know. If it's really is a citrus squeezer, I would like to know.
Yeah, so y'all keep your eyes on our Instagram and our Facebook. And yeah, so we'll get that link into the description for you to go, and there's tons more photos that we did not show related to the museum and the shipwrecking exhibit and things like that,
Yeah, and you can
so that you
read
can
the
peruse.
placards like what is a kettle pond? You can find out.
Yeah, there's stuff about individual shipwrecks, and it's a really fantastic, probably one of the most well-researched exhibits I've seen in quite some time.
Yep.
So, and next week we will look at quilts.
The quilts. Yeah.
So you don't want to miss that. And then also, don't forget to either dig out your copy or get yourself a copy. We're gonna start discussing in the second week of July. So we'll give the first assignment on July 7th. So enjoy your July 4th holiday without worrying that you're gonna miss out on the beginning.
No homework. No homework.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's time to go do stuff.
Yeah. Go do our
Thanks.
our typical Tuesday night things.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming, Janet. You'll have to come back
Yeah.
again next week too.
And it was so good to see everybody in general.
Mhm.
God, yeah, we haven't talked to, and Alicia. Like Alicia claimed we weren't going to see her all month because she's so busy in June, and she found time for us. So I think we're pretty special. Or that's what I choose to believe. So don't burst my bubble, Alicia. All right, guys, have a wonderful evening, a wonderful rest of the week, and we'll see you soon.